Welcome to the Cosmic Sky Podcast. I'm back. And when I say I'm back, I just feel more secure now. I just feel more ready to do episodes for you. Ready to continue talking about astrology. I needed to confirm some things to be able to feel secure, because that's all that I wanted, just is to feel secure. And from the point that Mercury entered Cancer to the point that it's ending Cancer, I did not feel secure with my recordings, because of this fear that my audio wouldn't save, that my voice wouldn't save, that what I said wouldn't save. But I confirmed it, and it's just my own anxiety and not really reality. Not really anything to worry about. So this video is coming out on the 10th. I'm taking the day off tomorrow because it's my dad's birthday, and I'm going to spend some time with making the cake and everything with my mom and everything like that, and really having fun in that sense. I will be back tomorrow on the 11th to give you your 12 sign forecast for Mercury and Leo. But I'm so thrilled to finally, I'm saying this now, I haven't even begun, but finally be back to my, my mojo, my, way of being. And I am ready to continue lighting this channel on fire, and I want to empower you to be your authentic self, to love yourself, to accept yourself, to have self-worth, and know your value. And it's all through the lens of astrology. And astrology is a huge part of this channel. The authenticity content on this channel, where I am being my full self. I am being my full, unapologetic, authentic self to you in my Real Me podcast. And that is displayed in the astrology also. I am being my true self as I give these videos, as I give these explanations. And so Mercury is out of shadow. It's out of Cancer. That was rough. Wow. I was feeling very, very emotional. The insecurities and the emotions were really bubbling, and now I finally resolved this, and it's so uncanny that I resolved this on the day that Mercury is about to enter Leo. And I'm just feeling a little bit lighter. It's like a weight, like a heavy feeling inside of me when doing these videos. I do believe it's getting lifted off my shoulders right now. Hopefully it remains lifted off. Well, hopefully the weight doesn't come back on my shoulders. So, Mercury is entering Leo, and this shifts the vibe. Oh, wonderful. It's not square my sun. It's in a fire sign. It's very, very dynamic. It's very, very bold. It's very confident. I'm so thrilled to talk about it. This is a big transit, and I'm so thrilled to be here. And I am not stopping at this point now. I'm continuing to give meaningful astrology videos. Is what I want to do. Deep, good quality content. Just not enough people watch it. It's like people are missing out on what I have to give, because I have a lot to give. And I have a strong moral compass. I have a strong principles, strong beliefs that I want to share, and a strong desire to empower you through simply expressing my authentic self and being my creative self. That is this Leo energy that we're talking about here. It's this being fully yourself, shining your own light, and also expressing yourself, empowering others and uplifting others to do the same. And that's what I want to do in every one of these videos. And I hope that you walk away more empowered to put yourself out there in your life, more empowered to be yourself, and gaining more insight than you have gained from when you started watching this video. So if you like what I have to give, stick around. I know what you're looking at right now is an image, and I know you think about, oh, this is so boring. Well, if you want, you can just put headphones on and I've actually never said this in an episode before, but, if you don't like looking at an image or staring at a blank image, you can watch it on your TV, you can listen to it on a boom box or, whatever, or just listen to it on the radio or whatever. There's multiple ways to listen to it. That's how I want to do my videos, because I don't think that anyone wants to see me looking away from the camera and speaking. It's like, hello, are you talking to the wall, in front of you, or you're talking to the real audience? Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? I'm talking to you. It is so difficult for me to look at the camera, to look at myself as I'm doing it. I do it, and then I get in my head and I think and I look away, and I just don't like that. So this is how I want to do it. It's how I authentically want to shine my light, and I don't want to hear any criticism or huge part of negativity for that. So now let's delve in. Mercury is in Leo from August 10th. Oh, Mercury enters Leo on my dad's birthday. Tomorrow, August 9th, we're actually celebrating my dad's birthday. And August 10th is his 61st birthday. So, my dad has Mercury in Leo natally. He has it retrograde, and, Aquarius moon, Capricorn rising, as I discussed Capricorn rising in yesterday's video. I discussed, what did I talk about? No. Saturn in Pisces, Mars in Libra, Venus in Virgo, Neptune in the 10th, midheaven in Scorpio, Neptune in Scorpio. Very, very dynamic chart. Gemini North Node, Lilith in Aquarius. Like, these are all his placements. And I may do videos on all these placements because he's a very, very fascinating person in my life, because our connection is so cut off and detached, and so, unlike what it means to be connected. So I just paused the video because I just realized that on Instagram you can schedule posts now. So I accidentally scheduled just a post of an image that has no words on it. It's coming out tomorrow. Sorry, I don't know how to get rid of it, but I will try to do that. So that will come out. If you're following me on Instagram, just be forewarned of a video of a picture post. Just kind of going back down into my archives to see if there are any I don't know. So I'll see about scheduling it. Okay, I may or may not do it. I'll leave it open-ended. Okay. So anyway. Now, very, very dynamic chart. Sun in Leo, Mercury in Leo, and that kind of thing going on. And so is not only that, but Mercury is going to be in Leo from August 10th to August 25th. That is as far as I am concerned. So that's basically the range for Mercury in Leo. So Now, all right, so let's get into the themes of Mercury. Actually, I'm just going to resolve this before I even get into anything. I'm not going to schedule posts on Instagram because I can't see my scheduled posts and choose to take them down if I don't want them scheduled. So, I'll just allow myself the option of scheduling them or not. So, anyway, it's an option. I can schedule posts on Instagram if I wish to, but I don't need to. I don't want to. Just publish them right then and there. So, hopefully that's resolved. Pluto's retrograde, so everything comes up. Everything just comes up out of the underworld, and I cannot compartmentalize it as easily as when Pluto was going direct. So, if I ever bring things up from the underworld, from my unconscious, from my psychology, from whatever, then it's just meant to come up to get talked about and resolved. That's what Pluto retrograde is all about. So, I've been feeling it. It's been really kicking my butt this whole period. So, yeah, because ever since May 6th, when Pluto went retrograde, I've noticed all these insecurities start to pop up, literally starting there that particular day. So, I'm so excited for Pluto going direct in October. Maybe I'll do a video on Pluto direct in October. Mid-October. So anyway, the themes of Mercury and Leo. The very, very first theme here is we want to express from our hearts. We want to be our fullest, heart-centered selves. We want to be living in that kind of way with where we are being in our heart energy. Being in our energy of enthusiasm and fun and generosity and confidence. That's what we want to be. And Mercury in Leo seeks to express itself through the heart. Seeks to express itself from, its heart chakra. Its heart way of being. It's very, very feeling. It wears its heart on its sleeve. It's very, very expressive. It speaks with confidence. Confidence is a really, really big theme with Mercury and Leo. It speaks with authority and strong ways of being and it speaks with it knows what it's talking about. It really, really believes in itself with what it is saying. And it's very deeply creative. It's a deeply creative placement, deeply creative transit. So you may find that you're more confident in yourself at this time. You may find that you're more emotionally dramatic or expressive. You may find you're more creative with being able to pursue creative avenues. It's a great time for creative projects. And maybe you can, now that, Mercury is out of the post-retrograde shadow time that it just exited August 6th. August 7th through 9th is the last 3 days of Mercury in Cancer. Recording this on the evening of August 8th. So, we are seeing that, we are moving on, and Mercury tends to move much quicker when it's out of retrograde. So we can feel like, wow, okay, with our communication, with our thoughts, we can finally feel like we're moving on, we're moving forward. I cannot wait for this burst of fire to come in. And then the next transit over, Mercury and Virgo, the next transit over, Mercury and Libra. Mercury and Libra, Leo, Virgo, Libra, very, very good placements for Mercury. So I'm really, really thrilled when it comes to August and September. I think they're going to be really, really good months for me when it comes to feeling secure, feeling confident in myself, feeling like I can freely express myself because I want to feel free, and all I want is security in these videos. And so, as I said before, so I kind of gave my introduction to it already. So sorry if the imperfections of this video are coming up. This is the real me here, even though it's not the real me podcast, but still, it is another sort of side of me in this podcast. If you want the real raw stuff, go over to my Real Me podcast. But if you want the knowledgeable, stuff about astrology, then you're in the right place. So different personas for different situations. That's how it is. So it's one of the lessons that I've learned, kind of the hard way. in a way, I shouldn't go over that, but so we can feeling like we're moving forward here. I keep repeating the same things over and over again. So this is a time to positively uplift people, positively inspire them with confidence, to speak with confidence and boldness with their communication, to speak really, really strongly and really, really confidently in yourself, and to be very, very sharp and very, very disdain, very, very, just optimistic with their communication. And I'm getting to the aspects later, but and I'm going to really be doubling down in those aspects and going through them chronologically for you. So now we're feeling more bold. Now we're feeling more brave, more courageous. Mercury in Leo wants to be seen and heard. It wants to have everyone come towards it and see it for itself and see its talents, its gifts, its abilities. And wants to communicate very, very warmly, very generously. It seeks to communicate in this kind of way. So, it wants to be very, very bold, very, very, dynamic, and, has a sort of warmth and open-hearted quality, very, very, that kind of quality to it. So, they make great storytellers. Make excellent storytellers of being able to craft a narrative and talk about all the different sides and have all these new characters of who they're coming up with and what they're all about and what their personality is like or like and what their actions are, and it tells it very, very animated, like very, very entertaining, very, very vivid. It's very, very, they tell stories like in a way where they're very, very vivid with how they go about explaining what is going on in the story, how they craft this narrative. So, this is a time to express yourself with confidence, to really, really be confident in who you are. As I said before, speak with confidence. Now, you may at this time get your ego bruised at some times. Mercury in Leo is during that solar eclipse in Leo, which is a shedding of ego, a shedding of old ways of being, of egoic behavior that no longer works, no longer has a place, no longer serves you. It no longer fits and with who you are, and it's very, very negative and it's very destructive behavior. It's very deeply deep-seated with agony and race. Of course, what's going on in the astrological community right now, which I spoke about in depth 2 podcast episodes ago. So, a king has fallen there. So, but, we may find that we are more sensitive. Like, we find that our egos at this time are more easily bruised and easily hurt. And you may want to seek attention for your ideas, but make sure that you're expressing it from your heart. Make sure that you're expressing your ideas with confidence from your heart, from your soul, from your very depths, making sure that you're expressing these ideas with all the confidence in the whole wide world. Because it's authentic to you. Because in your soul you feel like you want to, and not just, oh, I'm just trying to get all the attention for these ideas, to get all the recognition for this. Now let's get into the aspects. So, the very, very first aspect is Mercury trine Neptune. This is exact on August 11th. So this is very, very good for anything creative or having any, where you're using your imagination, you're using your right brain, you're coming up with all these new inventive ways of going about it and thinking about it and crafting a narrative or crafting a story or crafting a way of being. It's great for anything where you can really express your creative self with painting and music and writing, creative writing. It's very, very good for that. It's deeply spiritual. It's a deeply spiritual time. You may be more compassionate and maybe communicating in very, very compassionate and caring ways. You may have greater empathy for others at this time with what you are sharing, what you are presenting, and all that you're doing on that front, really. So that is, yeah. So now I'm going to just lifetime do something. I probably should pause this to do it. Okay. So, you are communicating much more kindly, much more openly, much more compassionately, and the more subjective and spiritual the subject, the better it is. The better it is. I want to invite you to enjoy all the subjective ways of what you're enjoying with your issues and what you're learning in terms of it being spiritual, in terms of it being very, very emotional, because it's great to get into study spirituality, study consciousness, and study ego, and study, all these things with, higher consciousness and, philosophy and all this kind of thing. All that's going on like that. So, okay. So that is that. Now Mercury's going to oppose Pluto on August 11th, the same day. The two aspects going on the same day, and this is Mercury and Leo opposing Pluto and Aquarius. What is good for me and good for my ego, and what would serve me versus what would serve the community, the collective, would be detaching from the need to be very, very dramatic and need to be very, very, overly confident, overly vain and prideful, and focusing on the collective needs and the needs of the group, the needs of the community, so to speak. And where you have intense focus drilled down on a subject, you are focusing your energy on the subject so heavily that you are deeply doing it, that you are deeply living it out. You're deeply engaging with it in a kind of way. So there is this very, your focus is intensified. Your focus is deeper and much more ingrained with what is going on there. And so you can really, really hone your energy in. And it can have a transformation in your thinking. It can transform the way that you think, the way that you think about the world, the way that you view the world, and become a more, you can have a deeper understanding of things, understanding of life, understanding of consciousness, understanding of all this kind of stuff like that, with what is going on. So, there's that piece to it. And then there could be this obsession coming into play because Pluto is obsession. With Pluto, you latch on to certain things, become so consumed, so fixated in it, become obsessed about ideas and beliefs and philosophies and all the kind of thing. And so it's important to see both sides and not be narrow-minded towards one side and one way of looking at this and one way of viewing this, but to gain a variety of perspectives and gain the whole gamut of looking at things in that kind of way, and dig into the depths of what's going on, dig into what's hidden and occult, what you're not seeing in this and that. So then Mercury is going to be conjuncting Jupiter. Or wait a second, Mercury sextile Uranus. Mercury conjunct Jupiter just a couple days later. But let's talk about Mercury sextile Uranus first. So this happens August 12th. So now you can be, new news, new information that's shocking, that's sudden, coming to play here. You can be open to learning new things. You can be open to new information, new stimulus coming at you all of a sudden. There could be new revelations or flashes of insight or sudden downloads coming onto your table at this time, with being able to do this in the most effective of ways, with these flashes of insight, with I just got a sudden idea and it came out of nowhere and I didn't anticipate it, I didn't expect it before, and it's shocking, it's surprising. That comes out of nowhere. And so, So, there could be these, these deep, like all these things coming up, all these things bubbling up to your attention, with, as I said, I'm getting stuck on a thought, because I'm thinking about the videos that I want to do this month as I'm saying that, so I'm not present. So that's the bare bones, and then seeing from a different point of view, seeing from a different perspective, seeing from a different angle of something, a different place of what is going on with a certain issue, with a certain perspective, or or whatever. Now I want to talk about Mercury conjunct Jupiter, which is August 15th, and now. With Mercury and Jupiter is the great benefic, and Mercury is in Leo, so we're feeling very generous, very jovial, very like we want to have fun, we want to play, we want to express confidently. And Jupiter remembers expansion, and it blows everything up, it makes everything bigger, it makes everything more broad and big and full of life and plentiful and all these kind of things. So that's basically Jupiter in a nutshell. It's the planet of philosophy. So now we're feeling more expansive, we're feeling more open-minded, we want to learn, we want to expand our horizons, we want to learn information, and we're feeling optimistic toward a lot of these things. We have a greater sense of hope about our lives, and you can do anything if you put your mind to it. Is also the thing is, having that Leo is wanting to seize the moment and create their own reality. I think that my dad really, really believes that you are the creator of your own reality. And I want to add to that, saying that you are the co-creator of your reality. You have spirit and the spirit team and the divine on your, in your court, to help you to create a dream life that is beyond what your ego desires, what your ego imagines, what your ego dreams of, that you can do anything if you really make a commitment to it, and you're very dedicated to it, and you you say you're going to do it. You can focus on your energy and focus on your well-being, and you can do it, basically. So now tact and diplomacy, having good, and a lot of we can have a lot of philosophical tact and diplomacy around this day. And I discussed this aspect on August 14th, so that short is coming out then. But we're just able to communicate with more grace and kindness and just fairness, being able to communicate truth in a very, very loving. And the thing about Libra is it's soulful. It's soulful because you're not communicating aggressively or overly assertively, whatever. You're communicating in a tactful, diplomatic way, and it helps with social relations. It helps with all this kind of thing going on right here. You're balancing looking at the details with the bigger picture also is important to balance, because we can still get caught up in the larger vision and the larger view of whatever we're looking at, that we're not focused on and on the little small details that make up the forest, because the trees make up the forest, and we have to pay attention to those little things, to those small little things, before we can focus on the larger vision and the bigger, outlook, or what we're focused on. Balancing that is very important. And then having fun. Also, Jupiter is the planet of fun and joy and happiness. And so how can we, really, really just let our hair down and not worry. That song Downtown, do, you probably have heard it. Da 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 da. That kind of thing. It's time to, go downtown and have fun and, let loose and enjoy your life. And basically the message of that song is do things to take away from the seriousness and the heaviness and the burden and the responsibility that life can be sometimes, and really, really just do something just for the joy of it, do something just for the fun of it. Because it's your joy, because it's your bliss, because it gives you joy to be able to do it. Be able to experience it. And, so Jupiter is the planet of joy, optimism, fun, goodness. So, can't say enough about that. And the Mercury trine Saturn on August 17th, our communication now is more logical, it's more organized, we're able to be very practical, pragmatic about things. Any hard mental tasks, any difficult logical tasks we can achieve with efficiency and hard work ethic, and really putting our nose to the grindstone and being very focused in on that for our own sake. And it's good for making long-term plans. It's good for that kind of thing where you're thinking about the future, because Saturn is really the long term. It's really the long term when it comes to what am I doing now and how is it going to work out for the long run. How is what I'm going to do going to be achieved for the long run? How is what I'm going to do now going to serve what's going on greater in the future? How is what I'm doing now going to last? Is it going to last? Is it going to have a legacy? Is it going to stand out? Is it going to be long lasting? But these are all the things that we're considering under this time. So anyway, that is your collective horoscope on Mercury and Leo. This was only 34 minutes long. Woohoo! Not very long. I will see you in tomorrow's episode. Episode on August 11th that I'm doing maybe I'll do it tomorrow in 2 episodes if I feel like it, but I don't know. Maybe I will. Who knows? I may just do it in the afternoon. So there'll probably be either one video coming out tomorrow or 2 videos. It just depends on how I feel, but anyway, we're coming out today rather, because you're seeing this today. But so I'll see you in part 2 for your 12 sign horoscope. So it'll be interesting to cobble together what this 12 signs need to know for this because of all the generalizations that I made in this episode. But hopefully you will stick around for future videos because you know, I have really grown throughout this whole Mercury and Cancer transit. I've really transformed, and now I'm on the other side of it. And now Mercury and Leo, time to have fun, time to let loose, time to take all the stuff that we've been reviewing and nurturing and looking at emotionally. Now it's time to express it. Now it's time to be proud about it. Now it's time to bring out the fire and the confidence, and that's what I plan to do with these episodes. So, thank you for tuning in. Anyway, bye for now.